Day number 35. Thank you so much for being here with me on this journey. It means a lot to me. I really I appreciate every single one of you who watches these videos and who connects with me in this way. Today, I want to share about something a huge breakthrough I had yesterday where I felt my heart open back up, or my heart open even more. For my entire life, love with a woman, like a physical, intimate, romantic relationship, for my entire life, it's always been a very transactional relationship of I need certain things from you, and then I can give you my love, right? And the reason it became like this was I don't know, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons, but one thing that sticks out is I had an extremely painful breakup with my first love. And I'm sure that this is not uncommon. I'm sure that a lot of us go through this, that excruciating heartbreak of our first love. Maybe you're in high school like I was, and you didn't have the tools, of course, to know how to handle that. It was just so much pain, more pain than you knew how to deal with at the time. So you just, you buried it, you suppressed it, you did everything you could not to feel it because it was too much, right? It was too painful. And I think for a lot of us, and I'll just speak for myself, that first love experience, that heartbreak, that pain, it kept me guarded. It kept me from really opening myself in a true way to anybody for all of my 20s, because I didn't want to feel that again. I felt like that type of feeling could kill me. I didn't feel safe to have my heart that open with anybody. So my relationships became very transactional in nature. They became, instead of real love, they became more about attachment and more about codependency and neediness and very conditional, right? And also very controlling. I was a very controlling partner to be with, and of course, I would attract others that had that same vibration. And I'm not saying that this was negative, because this served me. This served my growth. Without those relationships in my 20s, I wouldn't be to where I'm at right now. And so these last couple days, I had been feeling like these bone chills, like so cold, like I couldn't warm up. And I would just go in and out of periods where I'd be just flat out exhausted and laying down and just feeling like so lifeless and like something was dying in me. I could feel with every fiber in my body a deep death, a deep cellular death taking place in me. At times it felt biological, like I felt like I might be dying. And those moments were very temporary. They were like maybe a minute or two, right, of that type of intensity. But I just felt like I couldn't warm up and like something was leaving. And my vibration felt really heavy, and I felt just really low, like kind of lifeless, lethargic. But at the same time, simultaneously, I felt like this burning light coming into my crown chakra, into my head. And it was giving me this, almost like this headache. So it was a very fascinating, energetic place to be. And I couldn't find what was dying. And I also couldn't release it. I kept asking God, I kept asking the universe, please, take this from me. Clear my field of anything that's not mine. And I did that a few times, and I realized this is mine. This is whatever is coming up to be felt, to be released is mine. But it was so heavy, and it was so profoundly intense of a death taking place that I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I realized, a couple months ago, I talked about this in a previous video. I this really strong connection came into my life. Like, just out of nowhere, all of a sudden, maybe it's, I don't want to get into labels of what it could be yet because I'm not sure, but it was very, very intense. And this connection brought up a lot of those old feelings that, those unresolved, that unresolved pain from from my breakup from my first real love, from the first time I felt real heartbreak. It brought up a lot of those feelings. And so with this person, I had never told her how I felt, truly. And I started realizing in this last week or two, a lot of those old patterns from relationships in my 20s started coming up in me. I was not expressing them to this person. Thankfully, I have the consciousness now to see those in myself and to not, act them out. But I could feel them surfacing in myself. That part of me that was starting to get guarded towards my feelings toward this person of that desire to be in control. There was this part of me that was saying, I can't open my heart to this person unless I know for sure that she's going to receive my love, right? It just felt too vulnerable. It felt too risky. It felt too scary. That ego in me was like, I can't risk feeling that pain again. And that's why in my 20s, I never truly opened to anyone in a real way. I never gave anyone unconditional love because of that fear. I was afraid of not being loved back. I was afraid of someone leaving me. I was afraid of abandonment by somebody I was really, truly in love with, right? I was afraid that I couldn't experience those feelings again, that they would literally kill me on some level. So I was feeling all this energy, like this cold, dense energy, like a death in me. And I didn't know what it was. And then it hit me. Oh, this is the part of me that is dying right now. Is the part of me that can't be vulnerable with somebody that I love. The part of me that's dying right now is the part that for so long has tried to keep me guarded, like this outer shell that would not let me express my true love for somebody out of the fear of it not being returned. The part of me that needs something in return for my love is starting to die. I could feel that. And then all of a sudden, I was talking to somebody, and I just knew that I had to tell this person how I felt. Like all of a sudden this impulse just sprang forth in me, came through in my heart. It was like, you just have to speak your heart. And so that's what I did. I just told this person exactly how I felt about them. With no strings attached, no conditions, not needing anything in return, not hoping to extract anything, not anything like trying to win her over, nothing. Just, here's how I feel. And it just came from just a true, pure place of my truth, my heart. And right now, more than ever, life is making it so that we have to face that which we're most afraid of. And it's not life is just trying to liberate us. Life is trying to help us be free, to be that which we truly are, to be source energy in form. And to be source energy in form, we have to liberate ourselves from that which we're most afraid of. And the best way to do that is to experience it. So for me, that was just telling somebody, just being so vulnerable, just putting my heart, just opening myself completely and telling somebody how I feel with no real idea about how they would receive it or what kind of response I would get. But after I spoke my heart to this person, I realized it didn't even matter if they received it. It didn't matter how they responded to me. It didn't matter if it was like, mutual. The only thing that mattered is that I spoke my heart. And that felt so good in that moment. And I just felt my heart open back up. And I felt so much love in my heart, not only for this person, but for everyone and myself. And I realized the reason that part of me that needed someone to love me back, for me to love them, that needed to control people, that part of me that it started to die, is because I can feel my own love. And because I can feel my own love, I can just share it unconditionally. I can just, give my love to somebody and not need them to even receive it or return it or anything, because I can feel my own love. And that's the difference. Where, after my initial heartbreak in high school and all throughout my 20s, I could not feel my love for myself. So I was very dependent on others to love me. Otherwise, I couldn't feel any love. And that's where the codependency and the control and the neediness and the guardedness came from. But if you are the source of your own love, you don't have to guard your heart anymore. You can live with an open heart. And also knowing that I now have that love for myself and the compassion for myself to feel any pain that may come from sharing my heart so fully. Because that is the truth. If we live with an open heart, the wider it opens, the more we feel. There is no escaping that truth. But if you know how to love yourself, if you know how to give yourself compassion, then that's okay to feel more. It's okay to cry. It's okay to open yourself up to pain. And because you know that the pain is just there to serve you and to teach you as well. It's all divine. It's all divine, whether the love of your life feels the exact same way and it's a divine connection, or whether the love of your life rejects that love and doesn't choose to accept it. Then the pain that springs forth from that helps you to meet your soul in a deeper way. The pain that springs forth from that brings up aspects of you that you haven't accepted yet and that you haven't learned how to love. So it's all divine. The pain or the union, it all helps you to become more of what you truly are, which is love. And that's what this path is, guys. This path is helping us to face our fears, what we're afraid of most, if only to help us open our heart even more. Because if we're not willing to experience that which we're afraid of, our heart isn't going to be as open as it could be. And that's what life is forcing me to face, is putting myself out there with someone I really love. And having to live with the fear of the possibility of them not loving me back. And I finally feel safe enough to feel that, because I am rooted deep enough in my own love for myself.